Hello guys, welcome back again to Planet 40k Space Marines. So we did a video already for the 2nd of May for the article that was released by Warhammer Community that went into some of the army detachment abilities, and we're going to go through some of the data sheets that were also in that article. So let's get straight into it. The first one was in regards to the Land Raider. So they released a data card and it looks like they've released a sort of reverse to the data card. So the back of the data card, because there's some more options on the back. So that's what we're going to get into today. So let's begin with the stat line at the very top. So we're keeping the same movement. It's got a 10-inch movement. The toughness has gone up to 12. This was previously, of course, 8. 8 was probably one of the best. Wasn't the best, because toughness 9 was probably the best, but toughness 8 was considered very high for 9th edition. So you would imagine toughness 12 is also pretty high for 10th edition. It also retains its 2+ armor save. And as for the wounds, that's also the same, 16 wounds. And the leadership 6 doesn't really matter about the leadership, does it? I mean, there may be some sort of abilities or some sort of buffs or debuffs that relate to the leadership, perhaps. We don't really know just yet, but at this moment in time, I'm not too fussed about the leadership being a 6+. And the objective control is a 5, so it counts as 5 models when determining control of an objective. That's of course a new stat, so we've got nothing to compare that to from the old Land Raider. So in terms of the ranged attacks, it comes with 5, I believe. No, it's not 5 because they're options. We'll go over that part in a moment. In fact, we should go over that now, really. At the bottom of this photograph, there are war gear options, which is the first time we've seen this in the 10th edition releases or pre-releases with the datasheet. So we weren't really sure if they were allowing us to have war gear options and weapon options. This proves that they are, which is, they obviously were going to, because of the amount of weapons that they previously had in 9th edition, but they weren't really showing it until now, so we just weren't quite entirely sure if they were going to do it or not. But in terms of the war gear options, you can equip a Hunter Killer Missile, a Multi-Melter, and a Storm Bolter. As for the unit composition, the Land Raider is equipped with twin heavy bolters and 2 God Hammer las cannons and the armoured tracks. So we'll come back to the transport part in a moment. Let's get onto the weapons that are in the actual unit composition. So where were we? Twin heavy bolter. So let's start with the twin heavy bolter. Twin heavy bolter, it's got the sustained hits ability. So if you're getting crucial hits or critical hits, which is a roll of a 6 when you're rolling to hit, that's going to give you additional hits. So that's pretty nice. You've then got the twin links ability, and I keep forgetting this one. I think it's your re-rolling wound rolls. Correct me if I'm wrong on that one. I can't remember. I always seem to forget what twin link means for 10th edition. But we'll move on. Range is 36-inch range, nothing new there. Now it's only got 3 attacks, whereas of course previously we had 6 attacks, or 6 shots it was previously known as. It's now attacks. We've only got 3 here. So even though we've got the twin links ability, we've lost the amount of shots that we're getting with our twin heavy bolter. We're hitting on a 3+, that's kind of standard. Strength 5, -1 AP and 2 damage, that is also unchanged. Even though the AP has been reset for the majority of the weapons, I kind of agree that you need to keep a bit of AP for a twin heavy bolter. It is supposed to be a heavy weapon after all, so yeah, I'm okay with that -1 AP still being there. As for the 2 God Hammer las cannons, these have got a slight buff, so 48-inch range, which is as it was, 2 attacks or 2 shots as it was, because it was a twin linked las cannon before. Hitting on a 3+, yep, standard. It is now strength 12, so it's not strength 9 anymore, it's now strength 12. And that's obviously to do with the fact that the toughness of vehicles and monsters has gone up, so the weapons, or the heavy big weapons, also need to go up accordingly. So that's why these are strength 12 rather than strength 9. -3 AP is what it was, and yeah, I don't mind that one at all. And the damage, D6 +1, it used to be D6. I don't really understand the +1, to be honest with you. They could have waited for maybe a balanced data slate or a meta watch kind of thing to maybe think, okay, these need a bit more damage input, but it is what it is. D6 +1, I'm not complaining, it's a buff to the weapon. Then it comes with the armoured tracks, which is a new addition, or it's a new melee weapon because they now divide up the weapons from range and melee attacks. The armoured tracks, they're attack 6. That's as it was, we already had 6 attacks, but now we're hitting on a 4+. Weapon skill is 4, it's not a 6+ anymore. So we've actually got half a chance of actually running something over. The strength is 8 as well, which isn't new. It's not new at all, because we were so used to just having to roll a 6+ to hit that we weren't actually considering that these high strength weapons, or high strength armoured tracks if you like, they weren't going to do anything in past edition. Whereas in this edition, when you've got a 4+ weapon skill, with strength 8, that's actually not too bad. There's no AP, there's only 1 damage, but you're likely going to get 3 of your hits to go through. And against smaller stuff, you might even be wounded on a 2+. And yeah, you might kill a Space Marine perhaps. I'm not too annoyed about the fact that we've been given that Armoured Trax melee weapon. So that is the weapons. Well, that's not the Wargear option. There's some Wargear option. The Hunter Killer Missile, of course. That hits on a 2+, surprisingly, so it's got a better... Well, I suppose it's a Hunter Killer, isn't it? It's a one-shot thing, only using it the once. It's strength 14 rather than strength 10. Again, very similar to the las cannons. The reason for the weapons to go up is because of the toughness of monsters and vehicles. It's also gone up in AP to -3 AP, and the D6 stays as it is. So yeah, not too bad at all. Onto the multi-melter, that's actually got a decrease in its range. It used to be 24-inch range, it's now 18-inch range. It is a nerf, but I'm okay with that, to be honest with you. Multi-melters I think were too long anyway. It's got 2 shots, as it previously did. It hits on 3s as it previously did. It's strength 9. Of course it was previously strength 8. Yeah, okay, that's going to help with the higher toughness models. -4 AP, D6 damage. It's got the Melter 2 ability. I don't think they've disclosed what that is. It probably won't be much different from 9th edition, where at half range you're going to be getting extra damage. And then we've got the Storm Bolter, which hasn't really got any change whatsoever. It's got Rapid Fire 2, that's what it was already. So yeah, there's no real change to the Storm Bolters. So that's all the weapons that we've gone through. As for the abilities, Deadly Demise, we already know what this is by now, although it is a D6, not a D3. So it's effectively the Explodes ability. I don't believe they've actually said what the range is. It's probably going to be 6 inches, that's what the rumours are saying. So anything within 6 inches, if it is 6 inches, suffers D6 mortal wounds. Nice. Oath of Moment is the faction. They've already explained what that is. You're selecting a unit every single command phase, and you're re-rolling all your hit rolls and all your wound rolls army-wide against that particular unit. So that's what that ability is. And it's got the Assault Ramp, which they've introduced back into this edition. So each time a unit disembarks from the model, after it's made its normal move, it's eligible to declare a charge this turn. So it's effectively it's an assault vehicle. Normally when you move a transport vehicle, you then normally can't actually disembark models, but in 10th edition you can, and you can actually shoot, so you can fire still, but you can't charge. However, with the assault ramp, you can also charge as well. So that's a little bit of a buff to the Land Raider, and it means you're going to be using it with whatever you can put inside it. Terminators are an obvious one there. In fact, it's going to tell us in a moment what we're going to be putting in there. But before that, there is a damage table. I know damage tables aren't a thing anymore, but they're now putting it on the right-hand side under the abilities. Damage 1 to 5 wounds remaining. So when we've only got 5 or less, you're subtracting 1 from the hit roll. That's all it is. Previously was 3 stats that get nerfed. Now it's only the 1, it's the hit roll. Yeah, that's probably the one that we want to keep, but it is what it is, right? And there's only 1 line in terms of the damage table. There isn't when you're below half, then below 4. It's just below 5 and that's it. So yeah, that's pretty good for vehicles in general. Going back to the flip side again, where we've got some keywords, because they've covered the keywords in the other one, but they're here. Vehicle, Smoke, Transport, Imperium, Land Raider. Nothing really of note there that's new. Unit composition we've already gone through, and Transport. So this is something we want to see. So the transport capacity is 12 Adeptus Astartes infantry units. Each Jump Pack, Wolf and Gravis Armor Terminator models will take up 2 models, and each Centurion model will take up 3. Now notice it doesn't say anything about not being able to take Primaris models anymore. That was something in 9th edition that Land Raiders couldn't do. So that is interesting. I wonder what kind of shenanigans we can do now with Primaris models in a Land Raider. But mainly you're going to be taking Terminators, or you're going to be transporting models that have got a low range of heavy weapons perhaps. Maybe it's going to be your Eradicators, because I found in 9th edition Eradicators were quite difficult to use unless you're using strategic reserves, because of the 24-inch range wasn't quite enough for them. So they needed to get up the board, but they're quite slow and they tended to get picked off. But if you've got a Land Raider and Gravis Armor can go inside these Land Raiders, then hey, there's going to be a lot more different synergy options for Space Marines for 10th edition. So yeah, I just wanted to go over that datasheet for the Land Raider. Nothing massive of note apart from that assault ramp and also the transport capacity. I think those are the 2 key things here. The assault ramp being able to allow units to come out, disembarking from the transport and then charging after shooting as well, in fact. And the transport being allowed to take Primaris models within it. So of course that's going to include those Gravis Armors as mentioned. So yeah guys, just a quick video. We're also going to be doing Guilliman in another video very shortly. So yeah, make sure you are subscribed to not miss out on any Space Marine news on this channel. And also we're going to be covering bite-sized reviews and tactical elements when 10th edition does actually drop. So guys, all that's left to say, thank you all for watching. See you in the next one.